gentlemen, welcome to the Australian Citizenship Ceremony hosted by War Arts and Multiculture at Robertson Garden. My name is Louis Lee. I'm the MC for the Australian Citizenship Ceremony today. I'm pleased to extend a warm welcome to the 62 candidates which are going to be new citizens from 21 different countries with their family and friends who have joined us today. Next, I would like to invite Leonic Sweetman to do the acknowledgement of traditional owner and guests.
I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners on whose land we gather here today. Mr. Graham Perrett, MP, Presiding Officer and Federal Member for Moreton. Mrs. Freya Ostapovitch, State Member for Stretton. Mr. Anthony Shorten, MP, State Member for Algester. Councillor Stephen Huang, Councillor for MacGregor Ward. Councillor Kim Marks, Councillor for Karawaka Ward. Rebecca Hanson, Citizenship Officer, Ceremonies Manager, Department of Immigration and Citizenship.
Would you please welcome Mr. Graham Perrett, please.
Thank you very much, Lewis. And could I also begin by acknowledging the traditional owners and thank them for their continuing stewardship. And also acknowledge all of our distinguished guests, both elected officials, state and local government and federal government all together. So just so you know, and also our community representatives and leaders. And as we're leading up to an election, could I particularly acknowledge the people that live in my electorate and say that you're looking wonderful today. Obviously, MPs and elected officials, we get to do lots of jobs. I see some of these people on this stage more than I see my own family. And I tell you, we break up our duties into three different layers. The local councillors, they do most of the hard work. I should say that. Because their duties are so immediate. When I do street stalls with local councillors, people come up and say, you need to fix this pothole, you need to get this tree branch cut down, you need to get my wheelie bin taken away. And likewise, state government representatives, Anthony and Freya, a range of duties. Because we're a federation, we were formed by the colonies coming together and saying we will form a nation. So the state powers are many and straddle many of the federal areas, but obviously federal responsibilities, one of the most important ones is, there are big ones like immigration and defence, but one of the very important ones is weather. And that's why I organised for a beautiful day today for your citizenship ceremony, because I wanted to make sure you had a good day. Now, this citizenship ceremony, unlike many others, is being conducted in the middle of an election campaign. And in fact, you've got the Australian Electoral Commission representatives here wearing the purple shirt at the back of the room. So at the end of this ceremony, you will actually be able to enrol to vote on September the 7th. In fact, you're duty bound to enrol to vote on September the 7th. And that is important. And I'll tell you why it's important, because if you do not vote, it means for the next 3 years, whenever any of these politicians, or me included, do anything that you don't like, you can't say anything for 3 years, or 4 years if it's local government. Okay, so you can't have an opinion on politics if you don't participate. And that's the beauty of our Australian democracy. There are 208 other countries around the world. I can give you a list of countries you can move to where you don't have to vote. In fact, where you can't vote. In Australia, we have a very healthy democracy. One of the only 5 continuous democracies in the world that has been a continuous democracy. There's only 5 of us. So democracy is a cherished institution. Not always perfect, but in Australia it's a very important institution. So I urge you to make sure that you vote. And vote, however you decide to vote, make sure you make the decision. Don't do what someone else tells you to do, you make the decision. Now, it is my duty to read out a message from the Minister for Immigration and Citizenship, the Honourable Tony Burke, and the Minister writes, "In a few moments' time, Australia becomes a better nation. Your decision to make the Citizenship Pledge sees you take on the privileges and responsibilities of Australian citizenship. From that moment, your journey and heritage will become part of our shared Australian story. Australia welcomes you as a full member of one of the most diverse nations on earth, where our citizenship is a bond which unites us all. Australia welcomes you and the talents, diversity and vitality that you bring to Australia. Today, your new nation says to you, welcome home. Tony Burke. Thank you. I now invite Freya, the President of World Arts and Multicultural, to deliver her speech.
Today, we have 62 new citizenships from 21 different countries becoming Australian citizens. We are very honored to host the Australia Citizen Ceremony this morning under the guidance of the Citizenship Chair Louis Lee OAN. Australia is a wonderful country, rich in cultural harmony and diversity. I am aware of the joy an Australia Citizen ceremony provided to you and your family, and I cherish this great honor of being able to be part of Presiding of this important step in the new life. Once again, congratulations to the candidates who will be the new Australian citizens. Thank you very much and good luck everyone.
Thank you, Tina. Next, can I invite Mrs. Freya Ostapovitch MP, the State Member for Stretton, to deliver her speech.
Look, I understand what a great big step this is for you all to have made today. Quite a while ago I made this very step, and I understand, you know, it's a little bit like cutting your ties with your past. But the great thing about this country, the great thing about Australia, is that you don't have to. You can become Australian citizens and maintain your culture, your religion, your points of view, and well, anything that makes you what you were before you became an Australian citizen. You don't have to give up anything. But we do ask for something in return. And we ask for you to join the Australian citizens, to go and make friends with those neighbours, and maybe share some of your culture with them, so that they get to understand about your past and about your nationality that you gave up. I think it's very important for all of us to understand each other. And the best way to do that, I think, is by taking over a plate of food or some produce from your garden and just saying, here you are, I'm your neighbour and I'm your friend. Please get to know me. So once again, it gives me great pleasure to welcome Australia's newest citizens to this ceremony. Thank you.
We all know Australia is a great nation, but it is not the land, size of the land, or the resource we have make the nation great. It is the quality of our citizens make this country great. So today, you will become part of this family, and I'd like to encourage all of you to do your best to enjoy the most the citizenship is going to bring to you. That includes being an elected representative in this country. Like, we are having an election on the 7th of September, but maybe one of you sitting in this room today will be future member for this area. We don't know, but I would like to encourage you to explore any opportunities that is available to you as an Australian citizen. So once again, congratulations and welcome to Australian family. Thank you.
I'll now read the preamble to the Australian Citizenship Act 2007, and I should stress that this is a legal requirement. Australian citizenship represents full and formal membership of the community of the Commonwealth of Australia, and Australian citizenship is a common bond involving reciprocal rights and obligations, uniting all Australians while respecting their diversity. Persons on whom Australian citizenship is conferred enjoy these rights and undertake to accept these obligations by pledging loyalty to Australia and its people, by sharing their democratic beliefs, by respecting their rights and liberties, and by upholding and obeying the laws of Australia. As such, citizenship is both of value to you, the individual, and to the nation. Now it is time for you to make your pledge of commitment. This will be conducted in two parts, as candidates have the choice to make pledge number 1 or pledge number 2. And please repeat after me. From this time forward, under God, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, whose laws I will uphold and obey. All right, well done. Please sit down. Now the people making pledge number 2. From this time forward.
From this time forward.
I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people.
I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people.
Whose democratic beliefs I share.
Whose democratic beliefs I share.
Whose rights and liberties I respect.
Whose rights and liberties I respect.
And whose laws I will uphold and obey.
And whose laws I will uphold and obey.
Stay standing. The people that made pledge number 1, please stand. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our new Australians. Well done. Please have a seat. And on behalf of the government and people of Australia, I warmly congratulate you and welcome you as citizens of Australia.
Ladies and gentlemen, each candidate who has made the pledge is called forward individually to receive their Australian citizenship certificate from Mr. Graham Perrett MP and gift from Ms. Tina Lay. After you receive your certificate, please check all the details on the certificate. If there are any mistakes or problems, please see us after the ceremony. The certificate is your legal proof of your Australian citizenship. Please keep it in a safe place. We suggest you do not laminate your certificate. Candidates' names will now be called up. Mr. Ahmed.
Sorry, I'm going to get really close
Abdi Ahmed Ate.
That's all right. We'll let you shake their hands.
Miss
So just be.
Abzar
Hang on,
Abdi
photo.
Ahmed
Come
Ate.
here. 1 minute, please. Thank you.
Mrs. Nazim Akatar.
Angles, I think.
Mr. Syed Ella Ahmed.
Quick photo.
Mr. Ahmed El Najjar. Ms. Lenny Benson. Mr. Raghavendra.
My attention wandered there for a minute.
Ms. Lynn Button. Ms. Huang Chen. Mr. Zen Chen. Mr. Nanfei Tiong.
Thank you. Sorry,
Mr. Dabu Choksi and Mayu. Mrs. Stuart Edwards. Mrs. Anita Farr. Mr. Deepak Goheen. Mr. Jagdeep Goheen. Mrs. Mr. Goheen. Mr. Neil Goodyear. Mr. Abir Sawan. Mrs. Arun Afri.
No, smile.
Mrs. Arsen Kingston. Mr. Daniel Islami. Mrs. Ramala Kaki. Mr. Sudarshan Kaki. Ms. Freya and Master Rowan.
Mrs. Nasim Karu, Mrs. Chemita Bode, and Mr. Rajit Bode. Master Jiao Hao Li, Mr. Yin Lin, Miss Julie Wang, Mr. Li Wang, Mr. Chao Wu, Miss Singing Wu, Mr. Ling Zhao. I think a big round of applause for our last candidate, Mr. Kelvin Ntsega.
And on behalf of the Minister for Immigration and Citizenship, the Honourable Tony Burke MP, and all of my colleagues, I would like to congratulate you all again and wish you and your families a happy and successful future as citizens of Australia. Now, there are parts of this ceremony that are very official. And in fact, there are immigration officials who stand and supervise and make sure that everything is done officially. So what I'm about to tell you now is not official. Okay, I stress, it is not official. But it is my 5 rules for being a happy Australian. And number 1 is already touched on by Freya, which is the idea of sharing a meal with your neighbours, whatever that meal might be. But to introduce yourself to your neighbours or the people across the street or in your apartment block and share a meal with them. Number 2, I need you to find some bush, some Australian gum trees, some red dirt or some brown dirt, and get it under your fingernails so that you can smell Australia. Okay, especially gum leaves. Number 3, you need to find a poem that talks to you about Australia. You can, some of the famous poets like Judith Wright, Banjo Patterson or Henry Lawson, but there are many more contemporary Australian poets who have had a migrant journey like you. So find a poem that you can that speaks to you about Australia. Number 4, you need to learn an Aboriginal word, or 2, or 3, from the Indigenous owners of the land where you live. It could be a word for food, it could be a word for wine or beer or even good morning, but find an Aboriginal word. Then number 5, you need to find an Australian sports team that you can support. Alright, so you have to find an Australian team in a sport that you can make number 1. I understand that your country of origin could be your number 1. But if Australia is ever your number 3 team, then we can deport you. Alright? They are my 5 rules to be a happy Australian. Congratulations, well done. Thank you, Grant.
Now I would like to conduct an affirmation ceremony, which is just a short ceremony where all Australians can publicly celebrate being an Australian. The words of the affirmation are based on the Australian Citizenship Bridge met by candidate earlier. By participating in an affirmation ceremony, you are expressing your support for the value and the principles that underpin Australian citizenship. Everyone is welcome to join us in this affirmation ceremony. Participation is voluntary and has no legal standing. Now, please stand up and repeat after me. As an Australian citizen, I affirm my loyalty to Australia and its people. Whose democratic beliefs I share. Whose rights and liberties I respect. and whose laws I uphold and obey. Thank you. Please be seated.
The election that's coming up on the 7th of September has been mentioned a couple of times already. So it obviously shows you just how important it is to everybody here in the room, particularly those up here on the stage. So in order to participate, you must fill out an electoral enrolment form. Okay, now along with your certificate, you will have received a partially completed one. You need to please check the details and make sure that they're correct. You need to add in your occupation and postal address, your Australian driver's licence number and the state, which is obviously Queensland, and sign it. And once the form is completed, it needs to be given to one of the officers from the Australian Electoral Commission who has died, Flowers, who's been mentioned before down there in the purple shirt. Okay, for those new citizens who are already on the electoral roll as eligible British subjects, please also sign and hand in the enrolment form so that your enrolment form can be updated for new citizenship status. Please don't think of voting as a chore, okay? It is a privilege and it needs to be one that's not taken lightly. As previously mentioned, a lot of countries, citizens don't have that opportunity. You will now do, and you need to take that obligation very seriously. All right, and that's how I want to finish up and say congratulations to you all and welcome to our wonderful country.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts, of beauty rich and rare. It is to fetch that every sage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath a radiant southern cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of ours freedom of all the lands. For those who come across the seas, we bound this place to share. With courage relentless of the flag, to advance Australia fair.
First, can I have Graham Perrett, who is the presiding officer. Next, can I ask the Ostapovitch MP, the state member for Stretton. Can I ask Mr. Anthony Shorten, the state member for Algester. Thank you, Anthony. Can I ask Councillor Stephen Huang, Councillor for MacGregor? Can I ask Councillor Tima, Councillor Caroto? Rebecca Hansen, for the Department of Immigration and Citizens.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to offer a vote of thanks to each and every one of you. I would like to thank Mr. Graham Perrett MP as the presiding officer and thank his staff for the assistance in the preparation of this ceremony. Also, the special thanks to the Citizenship Chair, MC Lewis Lee OAM, and his Citizenship Committee team of World Arts and Multicultural Incorporated for hosting the Australian Citizenship Ceremony here today. Thank you also to my parliamentary colleague, Mrs. Freya Ostapovitch, member for Stretton, and also to the hard-working local councillors, Councillor Stephen Huang and Councillor Kim Marks. Needless to say, without the support and the involvement of Rebecca Hansen and her team from the Department of Immigration and Citizenship, this event would not have been possible. Thanks also to the officers from the Australian Electoral Commission for attending to the electoral matters for the new citizens today. Thanks to Yin Kai and John Chen for leading the national anthem. Thanks also to Leonie Sweetman and her team, our volunteer photographers for the ceremony. Last but not least, a very special thank you to all those who chose to become Australian citizens today, and their relatives and friends who have supported them and will continue to support them through their lifetime here as an Australian. Thank you.
But it's great to see the smiles on people's faces as they realise that they are becoming a part of this great Australian story that is written by people from all over the world, whether they're from the oldest culture in the world, Indigenous Australians, or the newest country in the world. We all mix together and become a happy, harmonious Australia. And I thank World Arts for the great work that they do and for the great work that you do as an MC. It's one of the best parts of my job as a federal member of Parliament is helping people to become new Australians.
今天非常的高兴，世界多元文化艺术协会能够得到澳洲移民局的青睐，委任来举办新公民宣誓。为这些新公民感到非常的光荣，因为澳大利亚是一个多元文化的社会。 尊重、包容，然后法治的国家，所以我们在这里生活，享受民主的这个荣耀。我们也应该来回馈社会，大家做好应该做的国民风范，在澳大利亚这个国家能够更兴盛，经济更发展，人民更祥和，大家幸福快乐。谢谢。
I'm really honored and pleasure to be Australian. I'm very proud to be Australian, and I look forward to join this big family in Australia.
今天是公民宣誓仪式，今天有62个新公民加入澳洲这个大家庭。对我来说呢，澳洲这个国家之所以伟大，不在于它的土地广大，资源众多，而在于人民的素质。所以今天我们有62位新的公民加入澳洲这个大家庭。 我非常期待他们能够对澳洲的未来产生重大的作用及贡献。谢谢。
Can I just congratulate all those new Australian citizens who made the big jump today, who made the big choice, probably one of the biggest choices in their life, to become Australian citizens. And with that comes responsibilities and obligations. But I know that all the people that made that choice today would have had a very good think about that. And I welcome them into the Australian and into the Queensland community.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مبروك and congratulations للمواطنين الجدد الأستراليين. أهنئ المواطنين الأستراليين الجدد بحصولهم على الجنسية الأسترالية وأتمنى لهم عيد مبارك أولا ومبروك للسنة لأنكم أصبحتم مواطنين أستراليين. مرحبا بكم في وطنكم أستراليا.
很开心，今天呢又有60多位呢我们所有的移民呢多元文化的移民呢成为我们澳大利亚的公民，真的很开心啊。那这个看到他们拿到公民那种喜悦，也让我们承办的主办单位呢，我们觉得一切的辛苦都是值得的啊！谢谢，恭喜他们，谢谢。
Thank you, thank you. I'd just like to welcome everyone who's all the new citizens to this beautiful country, and as I was privileged to be a part of this great community, this country, so you guys are all privileged as well. So we all need to just be good members of this society and do our best to be part of this wonderful country.
It's really good to see so many happy faces joining our country, and yeah, we hope they all exceed and success in the field.
See, becoming a citizen might not be the only way you find your place in the Western country, but definitely the most solid and grounded way that you can feel like one with the local society and community.
I'm very excited today for all the citizens that became Australian citizens. We welcome them to the country and we hope to hold many more ceremonies.
We would like to congratulate the new citizen to Australia, in addition to the happy father who has just celebrated Father's Day a few days ago, and also the happy mothers. And we wish the whole family will enjoy their new life in Australia.
我很荣幸今天可以有机会来帮忙一起举办这个公民citizenship 的ceremony 这是一个很重要对这些 citizen 很重要的一个活动，然后我们很高兴说能够帮participate 在这个活动里面的。
Congratulations to all of the new
citizens in Australia. I think that they're all very appreciative of your efforts as well.
非常谢谢，今天我们又再一次的举办了这个公民宣誓的典礼。我们非常谢谢路易斯全权的掌握了整个进程，而且表现得非常的出色，让现场的来宾以及今天新宣誓的这些澳洲公民都感受到我们来自台湾人的爱以及澳洲人民对他们的欢迎。我们非常谢谢，今天又是一次最圆满的成功。
I think the citizenship ceremony today was extremely successful. It's very well organized. I think everyone, all the new citizens are very happy and feel very welcomed. And I was very honored to be able to attend the citizen ceremony and be able to welcome our new citizens.
Australia is a very lucky country, and we're very lucky to have you guys, all the candidates, become one of us. And this is a very, very good day. All the family coming from different countries all get together and share the happiness. Now, wish you all have a very successful and wonderful future and life in Australia.
Sure, you can live here forever if you come from Malaysia or New Zealand or wherever, but to actually become an Australian citizen, to make that affirmation, to make that oath that says, I am a part of Australia, I respect our rules, and I'll be an active citizen, that's a great symbol of what makes Australia a major player in the Asian region and a major player on the world stage.